We got some people in here. We're going to start in a little under 4 minutes.
What about Ali Hader? He's always active, and he just retweeted the AMA.
Ali Hadar?
Yeah, Ali Hadar.
Well, I did ask in our development channel if anybody wanted to come in.
All right. Just to, just to show some of the other people that are working behind the scenes here.
Yeah, I wanted to give them all a check. I wanted to give them all a check to come in. But,
At least it wasn't a Shrek.
All right, so it looks like we're probably going to start without them guys, which is okay. They are busy people, so they may not necessarily be able to come in. If they decide to come in, then, we can promote them up and they can present for us. We do have a lot of familiar faces here. We have Miss Kelly here, Monis, Jayton. Bijo's here, as always. Ravi, Crypto, XS, Janice, Tim, Abdul. It's a lot of familiar faces, a lot of familiar names. Glad you guys are all here. So I'm glad you got in via the Twitter link there. That was one of the reasons why we have the wonderful Aaron publish it out there. So just so you guys know, Chris is on vacation. He is on a long-deserved vacation. So Chris will not be in this AMA this month. But he will be back to work with us on Monday or Tuesday, depending on when he gets back from his vacation. So you have the honor of me and the cat with you today, talking about SoMee.social, answering what questions you have that we can, and going over what we're releasing on this upcoming release. In fact, our slideshow is only 3 slides long this time, so there's not a lot that we aren't talking about, and there's not a lot that we aren't going through. But let's go ahead and just jump right into it. We can talk about, what we're doing coming for this release on the web. You can see what's on the web, right?
Yep.
Hi, Nick. Welcome. Glad you can join us. So on this release on the web, we are introducing SoMee Live so that you can do live video calls, live videos, all the fun live stuff right from your post, as well as calling people. And that does include being able to do conference calls and things like that. Keep in mind, this is the first iteration. So it's going to look very similar to what we want it to look like, but there might be some things that we have to tweak. As you can understand, the live video, the video on demand stuff, that's still a work in progress for us. We're a social media platform, so adding video on demand is something that, takes time. But we do have those live features in there. And then we had people saying that whenever they posted videos, Aaron, you found this one too. Whenever they post video pictures, it likes to rotate. So that's
pictures. Yeah, not videos, but when you post a picture, it was rotating because of the metadata wasn't being properly cleared on the back end, right?
Well, actually, we're doing 2 things on here now. It was being rotated, but then it wasn't honoring what was inside of the metadata. Right. So, but we decided to use a different tool to be able to control the metadata on there so that people don't get weird looking pictures. And the development team did a wonderful job doing that. We're also in a later release going to be stripping all the metadata from all the images and videos that get uploaded to help protect your privacy and to make sure that nobody can track that information. Because if you guys probably don't know, if you take a picture with your cell phone or you're recording video with your cell phone, everything right down to your location, unless you have it turned off in your settings, which it's not by default, but everything in your settings, your location, and all that good stuff is stored in the picture. Yep. So whenever you post the original online, anybody can take that picture, strip it out, figure out what location you took it at. They can figure out right down to the type of phone you used. So to help protect your privacy, in a later release, we're going to be actually stripping all of that metadata out just to make sure that, there's no privacy concerns there.
Right.
The next one there, make vote icon darker or solid. Yeah, look. We have a very defined style that we're going with, and yeah, the upvote and downvote icons, they were hard to see between when they were not enabled and when they were enabled. So that is something that will be fixed in this upcoming release. We settled on a nice little design for it, so it looks good. You get this nice little blue background behind it. It's really cool. So you'll be able to easily see when the button has been pressed or not. I only laugh because it's a really funny issue to me, that's all.
I laugh because it says make vote icon darker or solid.
Hey, look, I wasn't sure what to put there. We're also adding a landing page to the root of the website. This is a dynamic landing page. So whenever you visit SoMee.social, if you're not logged in, you will see our landing page, which is great for all of our influencers. It's great for anybody who hasn't joined. It talks about what SoMee.social is. It talks about what we do, but it's only visible to people who are not logged in. If you are logged in and you visit SoMee.social, you're just on the regular application. We decided to make it dynamic like that because if you're logged in, you don't really need to see the landing page. So, you know, that makes kind of sense.
Right, and the landing page is also going to include a scroll of influencers and celebrities and all of that are going to be on the platform, and it's going to show their profiles so people can directly click. If you click on their profile, it'll take you to their profile and basically sign you up under them.
We'll be able to do stuff like that, yeah. I think out of the gate, it probably won't have that feature. But once the public profiles are enabled so that, you know, people can just share their link out without them to log in. Once those are enabled, then yeah, we'll be adding that to there. No, Ian, you didn't just miss much. Literally, we're on to the 4th post there. So you caught up just in time. So let's talk about the next one, allow image upload in groups and company comments. So one thing we noticed that when people were posting in comments, they weren't able to post images. Because, you know, sometimes you want to post an image in a comment. So now that's been enabled for us. And this goes on to the second one down, which is reply comments. And reply comments is unlimited replies and unlimited threading, which is good. But we're only going to show the first 3 as like indented, and then after that it goes back to the mentions. And this is just phase 1 of how we're going to be implementing our comments in the system. We just had to do a basic implementation first so that you guys can reply to any number of the threaded comments that you want on the platform and then include whatever you want in those comments. Oh my goodness.
What?
But Diego's not going to be able to make it today. He has an emergency, so he has to go. So we won't be able to show some of the demos we wanted to show, so I just hope everything goes well with him. And then, of course, add tool to convert the old ONG token to the new ONG token. As you guys know, we already added that earlier, and then we're just making some tweaks to it to make it a little bit easier for people to use. But you can go to convertong.SoMee.social to convert your ONG over to the new SoMee. We did take about 5 days to put that up for everybody. So that did take some time out of our regular development schedule. That's why it's on this list here. And then for our influencers, we did add lead dyno support. Kelly, this mainly affects you and everybody else that's an influencer. So it actually properly tracks when people click on those influencer links on the new website because that wasn't working before. And then finally, push notifications. And push notifications, which will allow you to receive notifications in your web browser as well as on your cell phones, whether it's Android or iOS. And we're using AWS Pinpoint for that. So everything is unified in one platform, and you can get notified across all your devices whenever there's an alert on SoMee.social. So that's what's coming on the web. Now, you notice I didn't talk about the blockchain. Blockchain part 1 is very important here because we're developing on it. That's why it's bolded and included here. We started the process of working on the blockchain, spinning up the actual nodes to test with, and then working with Hive to implement everything. We did a lot of work on the blockchain this month. On the next slide, it's going to show you what will be available on mobile, and it will talk about the quick wallet feature. But the quick wallet feature is just there to show you what it's going to look like. There is no monetization enabled yet, but we will have monetization enabled in July as we did expect. So just bear with us as we continue working on the blockchain and the rest of the social media stuff, okay?
Right, and we're directly working with the Hive team, just to point that out there. We connected with them, and we are directly working with them on this whole entire release. So they're assisting us as we were assisted before with the Steam developers as well. They were at the time they were very excited to be working with us and everything, and we were doing basically the same thing that we were going to do with side chains and implement that over on the Steam side, but Steam couldn't handle it, and Hive can. So we're working directly with the developers of Hive to get all this set up, and Hive is going to be assisting us. This is a big partnership for SoMee.
Yeah, it's really big, and it's a lot of work. Probably one thing that should probably be explained to people is when you guys are posting on SoMee.social, you're actually posting on the Hive blockchain. So anything you post, unless you explicitly turn it off, is posted on the Hive blockchain. So whenever you get rewards or things like that, you're always going to receive Hive in return. You'll get the SME token as well, so that we can do our DeFi and we can do our DApp stuff, but you will get Hive automatically for everything that you post. So
right.
You're actually going to get two levels of rewards in there.
Yep. Double the rewards.
And that's one of the things that we wanted to make, completely obvious to everybody, because when you receive Hive, you can use those Hive tokens to do whatever you want with, just like they were regular SME tokens with things like that. But it's not something that we are controlling on the platform. That's just something you're rewarded for posting. So.
Yep.
All right. Let's talk about mobile. You guys can see the mobile slide, right?
Yep.
Okay, great. So on mobile, just like we've been saying for a while now, mobile is about a month behind, or one sprint behind if you are a technical guy, from the web. And the reason for that is because mobile is a lot more complicated to develop than the web. Even though everything is using React and React Native, we still cannot fully align the two platforms yet. But once we have the main social media sides aligned, then we will be able to release updates on mobile and web at the same time. And I'm kind of talking to the development team. We've kind of planned this for October, November-ish to get everything aligned, so that we are making sure that we release both things on the platforms at the same time. So when we talk about the releases for mobile here, understand you're like, oh, I already have this on web. Well, yeah, this is new to mobile. But you already have it on web. So that's why there might be a disparity there for you. So reply on comments is coming to mobile, which the unlimited replies will allow. And there will be 2 levels of indenting on mobile for right now until we come up with the new format for it. So that's working. I saw a demo of it yesterday in our development meeting with Diego, which is great. And it looks really good, and it's very, very fast. And I think you guys are going to like how the replies are working. And then the group's CRUD and the company's CRUD. If you don't know anything about development, you probably don't know what CRUD means. That's not us saying this is crap or anything else like that. That's just saying that it needs to have, write, update, read, delete, and create capabilities. So that's just create, read, update, and delete. That's what CRUD means. So on this release for mobile, the groups and companies will be working as expected. That was probably one of the biggest comments that people had when we published the new version of the web, of the mobile app, is that groups and companies were basically read-only. Now groups and companies will work as expected on mobile on this release. This is a big thing because that was a lot of work for Diego to get done.
Yeah.
And then the split header. Do you know what that is?
Yes, I do. But I have a question, and I think this is a question that other people will have too. As far as groups and companies go, does that include the admin menu that was?
Yes and no. We're trying to include as much as we can on each release. But right now, what we do for development planning is we are going to focus on the basic functionality first, okay? And then we're going to add functionality. So right now, you guys only had read capabilities to the groups and things like that on mobile. You didn't have any ability to join groups. You didn't have any ability to access those groups, to post in those groups, or anything else like that. So the admin bug that we found where, we couldn't post as a group member if we were moderators, that's been fixed. But some of the admin features and things like that have not been added yet, but those will be on the next sprint. But like I said, basics first, then we adapt some additional things in there. Okay.
Okay.
So then we have the split header, and the split header is important because that changes how the navigation works on mobile. So that's going to move most of the main buttons down to the bottom of the screen, and there'll be a quick wallet button in the center, and then you'll have a search, and you'll have an additional feature at the top that allows you to access additional functionality. So it moves the navigation, it shortens the upper header a little bit, and it makes it a little bit easier for you guys to access all with one hand when using the mobile app. And we are adapting a similar approach to the mobile web as well. We added that to our backlog this last week so that the development team can align that split menu on the mobile web as well, so that if you're accessing it on the website, on your phone, or on a tablet, you still have that same similar fill that you would have on the mobile app. So that's the split header. And then quick balance. Quick balance is just there to show you what it looks like. It is tied to some of the basic blockchain features, but we're not monetizing any posts right now. So whenever you click on quick balance, it's just going to say you don't have any posts that are monetized. But upcoming releases, you'll be able to see all of your posts in there that have balance over the certain day, week, or month that you have in there, so you can see what you're earning. And then we'll be adding the quick balance functionality to the web as well. I believe you guys said you wanted to, right, Aaron?
Yes.
So we'll be adding that there too.
So basically, what will happen is the way the wallet will work now, when you click on the wallet on the web, it'll take you to your wallet interface. It'll show you the quick balance, but to see your full wallet and access your full wallet and be able to move funds around, you'll have to log in.
Yeah. So the quick wallet is just designed to show you what you've earned. Yeah. So as you have a post and you post it on the blockchain and people are upvoting, downvoting, and sharing and commenting on it, you'll be able just to see how many points you've earned. It's not designed to show you anything else other than what you're earning. But there will be a little button on there that allows you to access your wallet. You sign into your wallet and you can do everything else. The quick wallet is literally, the quick balance is literally just to show you earning. That's it.
Yes.
And then we are adding groups you may like and users you may like. In fact, groups you may like is actually already in the application, but it doesn't work the way that we wanted, so we've adjusted it. And users you may like is also being added. And on mobile, this appears inside of your news feed in random locations. So that you guys can actually, scroll through your news feed as you normally would. Then you would see groups that you may be interested in. As you like groups and upvote groups, you'll see those. And then as you like comments on people, you'll see people that you may like as well. It's all in your news feed. It's not very obtrusive, and it's just easier for you guys to scroll past if you're not interested and following those guys. But it makes it a little bit more of a natural feel for you,
And it'll be that same way on web as well. You guys right now see it on the right side, but we'll actually be replacing that. It's just a holder. It's a placeholder for where we're going to be putting hashtags and all other fun stuff.
Yeah, so the trending stuff, the hashtags, some advertising stuff for our people will be over on the right-hand side and in the news feed. People you may like and groups you may like are all, I'm going to use a technical word. I apologize, but I'm a technical guy. They're all contextual aware items. So that means whenever you like people or you follow groups or you like a group post or you follow a company or you like a company post, those are all contextual based things. So as you scroll up and down through those feeds, you'll see those in your news feed so that you can follow them or that you can like them or whatever you wish to do with those groups and people. It's more natural instead of just presenting a list to you,
Right.
Then on mobile, on this release, we are allowing for short clip visualization. I know that's a very weird way of putting that, but on mobile this time, you will be able to at least watch the short clips that we have. We did not enable the posting of the short clips on mobile yet for two reasons. The first reason is that, as you guys probably are not aware, HTML5 and video posting from mobile is not as straightforward as it should be, and that's 99% because of Apple. Apple has their own way of handling video, and they have their own format of video and their own way of requiring you to display video. To that end, any video that's recorded on an Apple iPhone is a completely different format and a completely different way of transmitting it to the server than it is on Android, which makes development on Android and Apple using React Native 10 times more complicated. So right now, we're only going to let you see the short clips on the mobile, but on the next release, we should be turning those on for you to be able to record, because on the next release, our video on demand service should be up and operational. We just got the video on demand infrastructure put into place 2 weeks ago, so that we can go ahead and take any format that is sent to it, whether it's from an Android phone, an Apple phone, or the web browser, and it sends it to our video on demand infrastructure. It auto converts those all into about 20 different formats that can play, many different resolutions all at one time. So depending on your network, depending on your device, you'll be able to view it. So our video on demand infrastructure side is done. Now we just have to implement our applications with it. And then once that's done, you guys will be able to post using your mobiles for short videos and stuff like that. So that's the only reason why we're doing view right now.
And that includes live stream video and also includes long
yeah. So understand we're implementing live and web right now, so that's not available on mobile yet.
Right. I gotcha.
Okay. And then we have push notifications, of course, are being implemented. We're doing those on web and mobile. Now you'll notice that push notifications was also on web. So you see that we're starting to align our web and mobile developments to start introducing the same features on each release. And the first one here would be push notifications, as well as the reply on comments. Both of those features are on web and mobile, and both of those are being released at the same time. So we're slowly getting those to be aligned so that we get the same production on there.
Right.
Jamie, when we do have the demos, we will definitely give those out for everybody. In fact, Jamie, we were supposed to have one of our developers with us today. Unfortunately, his daughter got really sick and he had to go to the emergency room. So we don't have the guy with all the demos with us today. Otherwise, I would have shown them all to you. But, you know, they are coming out here in a few days, so you'll be able to see what those look like. With that said, those are the main things that we have for the releases coming up here. And the release should be coming up here in just a few more days. We usually schedule the release 2 or 3 days before the end of the month. So we're either going to do it on the 30th or we'll do it on the 28th. I haven't talked to the development team on it. We'll most likely do it on the 30th so that you guys can get the updates out. And that means that the mobile apps for Android should be available on the 30th because those only take a few hours to approve. And then for iOS, they should be available by the 1st or the 2nd, as Apple is taking a day or two to approve things.
Right. Yeah.
Actually, that's a good question, Abdul, and that is actually the purpose of the new media section in the application. As you guys know, whenever you post pictures and videos and things like that in the SoMee.social application, whether you're on web or you're anywhere else, you also have a photo album and a media album type thing that's being introduced. Right now, whenever you post videos, they don't go to your photo album, but that is being added hopefully on this next release, so that every time you post photos or you post a video, those go into your photo gallery or your media gallery, and then you can just cross-post those and share those to your heart's content. But it's also a great way for you to retain memories of what you've posted and things like that. So we are working on that functionality, Abdul, but right now it doesn't exist in the system.
And you'll also be able to, similarly, like as you share a video on Twitter, you'll be able to do the same thing on SoMee and share a post, and the video will auto embed into Telegram or another application in the future when we get to that point. So we are going to be integrating that type of functionality. It's just not there yet with the video and post functionality. I forget what that's called, Philip. What is that called? Post preview? Like
yeah, post previews.
Similar to like Facebook, or when you share a tweet on Twitter, in like Telegram, you see a preview of the tweet. That'll be the same for SoMe. It's just we're not there yet to that point.
It takes time. A lot of that stuff is, we have to make sure that the posts are public, that your actual public profile is able to be displayed without somebody logging in, and that's some application logic that has to change to enable that. Once that's done, then we can work on the SEO elements to make sure that your post previews work and stuff like that. So that's definitely on the roadmap. It's probably going to be if not the next release, it'll be in the release after that. So our main focus here right now is just getting all the fundamentals down, making sure that you have all the base social networking stuff down, and you can use the website the way that we want to use it.
Right.
Now, I did state that we had a bunch of fixes as well, and we do have a bunch of fixes. I didn't go into all of the fixes that we had. As you guys know, we do have a full development house. That means we've got developers, we've got QAs, we've got automation engineers, DevOps staff. We have a lot of people that work on this project. And one of the things that we've been tasking them with now that we've moved over to SoMee.social is every time that we do a release or every time that we update the release, we have QA go in there and test everything. And so they go in and they test everything, and then they put every single bug they see or every annoyance they see inside of our ticketing system so that we can fix it. And then we have 2 dedicated developers who are in there just fixing things. That's their only job. Whatever QA reports, they fix. The rest of the development team moves on with features, and these 2 developers are in there literally fixing everything that's reported. If it's a major issue, it gets fixed with a hot fix, which means that it gets released almost immediately. If it's a minor issue, which is a major but minor issue, it'll get released on the 2-week mark. If it's just a minor issue that's just an annoyance and something that we can fix in the next release, then it gets fixed on the next release.
Right.
So that's how we're doing our hot fixes and our fixes to the application.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Makes sense to me.
Awesome sauce. So that's how we've been doing stuff like that. And I know that it's kind of annoying for you guys to have to wait a whole month to get bug fixes and new features and things like that. But understand why we're doing the monthly release cycle. Other applications will do a 2-week release cycle. We do a 1-month release cycle because, if you looked at what we did on mobile and web, it wasn't just 1 feature. It wasn't just 2 features. It was like 4 features all at once being introduced. Right. That's why we do it on a monthly basis.
Well, also in the future, we can shift to once there's more functionality in the application, we can shift to doing 2-week sprints and stuff like that too. So,
and we will be, yes. Right now, our development production sprints are monthly,
right?
With our hot fixes on every Thursday if we have them. But once we have the social media and the blockchain side mostly done, then we're going to be switching to the 2-week fixed release schedule, which means every 2 weeks we have updates to the application, and every week we do hot fixes. But that we're not there. It takes time to get there.
And it's also another important point to mention is that SoMee is also basically a collaborative project between other blockchain projects in this space. We're working with other blockchain projects. Some partners we can't announce yet. There's like Hive. We've been talking about Hive. Hive is working with us on the rewards end of things. So SoMee is focusing on the social media end of things, where other projects are focusing on other aspects. Like Hive is focusing on the rewards end for us, and there's some work that's going to be being done with Cardano and the Cardano Foundation in the future with other elements of social media, decentralizing social media, and cross-posting to other applications, and cross-uploading to other applications like 3Speak, and I'm talking to BitChute. Again, I've reignited talks with them. I know the guys over at BitChute for several years, and they've developed a system based off of video and torrent technology. I think it's a little outdated personally, but they've done good work, and I want to integrate them into SoMee as well, and have it so we can cross upload and cross post between each application. So there's a lot of development and partnership connections and everything that have been made in the past couple years that, you know, I'm going back and leveraging. I mean, I've talked to Library before. I've talked to all these other projects, and eventually I'm going to get Phillip to integrate pre-search into SoMee too. So we'll have the ability to search the internet within SoMee, which I think will be pretty cool because nobody's done that before inside of a social media application. We can't hear you, Phil.
Would help if I unmuted myself, wouldn't it?
It would, yes.
I got asked if I'm a real person, so hi. Yes, I'm a real person. But like my new glasses, aren't they nice? I can see now. Yay. But that's all you get of me. I don't stay on video that long. I'm reclusive. So goodbye, camera.
Goodbye, camera.
And but yeah, so those are the things that we are going to be implementing. And people go, well, when is SoMee Moon? When is Lambo? When are we going to do this with the blockchain and that with the blockchain? And those are all very good questions. But guys, our focus right now is making sure that we're not overloading the development team with too many tasks. So we're doing blockchain development as well as social media development, as well as partnership developments in phases.
Yep.
Yes, it does take a longer time to get things done. But at the same time, they get done correctly. I mean, when you compare to where we were before, I mean, where we were 6 months ago, where whenever we would release a new feature, it would cause like random sections of the site to stop working. Where we were before to where we are, totally different.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the code base that was being dealt with. I mean, it was not proper code base, wasn't properly set up with conventions, and I'm so glad that we're past that. And I don't really want to bring that up anymore. I mean, I just want to leave it in the past. Like, I just want to forget it happened, man. Because honestly, like, it hurts to have that done to your project. You know, you put in all this.
Okay. Stop. We don't want you to go on a tangent there. So it is what it is. We were in the past. We're nowhere near that anymore. And as you guys know, we release new features and it doesn't break things, which is great. There might be some things that are not done correctly, or there might be something we overlooked. Like in the groups, there was something where you couldn't get back to the group. Well, they fixed that. But, you know, things like that do happen and they do get overlooked and they do get caught by QA and they do get fixed. But unlike before, where we would release something and it would break something, now we release something, it actually is there and it works the way it should be. So we're light years ahead of where we were before with development, and we're light years ahead of where we were with being able to do the development that we want to do. And so that's a good thing. So you guys have probably noticed that this AMA is a little bit different than our normal AMA. Normally we go through slides, we talk about things, we open it up to the community. This time around, it's been more of a conversation between me and Aaron. That's mainly because Chris isn't here and we didn't have a lot of slides to show you today. But we do have the open Q&A section where we're going to answer questions from everybody as well. And we do have the ability for you guys, if you want to ask us questions in chat, you can ask us questions in chat. You can ask us questions in the Q&A panel. If you wanted to come up and talk to us on microphone, I can enable that for you as well. But that's this portion of the AMA right now. We're here to answer whatever questions you have. So just shoot them out there if you have them. I know that we don't have a lot of questions right now in the Q&A section. It says, what features will blockchain part 1 be consisting of? I believe I already answered that one. And that one is going to be, blockchain part 1 is basically going to be the posting, the rewards, the basic wallet functions, and the quick balance. That's what blockchain part 1 consists of. But that's not released on this update because that's all the stuff that we're working on for this update. And then Jamie said, next time can we show? Yes, we can show. When we have the demos, we will definitely show them to you. Yes, when we have the demos, we will show them to you. But our developer had an emergency. So couldn't be with us today. There we go. Post. All right. And that takes care of all the questions that we had in the QA panel. Now we have two more. Ravi asks, can we implement ad share before DeFi, as ad share implementation will bring masses to the platform? I'll project that for everybody. And the answer to that question is yes, we will be implementing ad share before DeFi. In fact, we're still slated for September, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, that's correct. And I mean, the side earn chain is kind of DeFi-ish. The first side earn chain that we'll be implementing is Hive. So when you guys post, you'll be earning both Hive rewards natively, and also the SME token, which is a Hive-based asset. And then besides that, yes, after that, we'll be implementing the ad share. And then from there, we'll start adding other chains in, like Cardano, Polkadot, whatever chain we want, we can literally add into it. So that's our plan there. But I wanted to say, Philip, I did have an announcement for the community in regards to the Prism pools, and I talked to Prism, and they're in agreement that after this pool, with the 1.5% fee, it's hard-coded in this pool. They can't remove it. But in the future, SoMe's pools with Prism will not have any fees. So that's huge. We're going to be entering into a long-term partnership with Prism for the pools. And I also talked to them about building us a bridge for all of our assets and all of basically, so users will be able to, in the future, bridge their assets inside of their wallet to any blockchain that they so desire.
Oh, that'll be a nice addition.
Yeah, so we don't even have to worry about working on that bridge stuff, because Prism is so far ahead of interoperability with all these bridges that they're so underrated. It's insane. That's all they've been focusing on, is just the interoperability bridges, and they're ahead of everybody in the space on that. So it's huge.
Well, I'm glad they were able to give us no fees on the future pools, because we will have some future pools here soon, especially the long-term pools that we're talking about. So not having fees on those, that's awesome.
Yep.
And then we had a question from Ian. Ian says, I'm lost on SME. How will you get it? Will you earn it? Is it a stable coin, or a token? So SME, let me go back up to your question. SME is the reward token that you get for posting on the Hive blockchain. It's basically like a layer 2 reward token that you're going to receive. And those are basically like the SoMe points that we used to have. You'll be able to trade those in for more power, for more voting power on the system and all that good stuff. And you'll be able to use the SME as a fiat to other currencies with Skrill and Chipotle. And SME will have other utility on the platform as well. It's essentially just a utility token that is backed by Hive diesel pools, just to make sure that, it's a nice, robust token that we
it's backed by Hive and also the SoMe token.
Because it's basically just our reward token. That's pretty much all it is.
Yeah.
It's our primary reward token.
Ravi is asking, please elaborate more on the way G Fuel SME Hive cash out, with one example of an individual buying SME G Fuel worth 1,000. So as with the old platform, the evaluation of your G Fuel in USD value will change as the price evaluation of SoMe and Hive goes up and down, like any other cryptocurrency. And as far as I know right now, it's 1-to-1 for one G Fuel to one SME point. So the points are the old system of SoMe points were just based off of Steam, and the new points are based off of Hive. So basically, the only thing that's changing there is just the code base on the back end for between Hive and Steam. So
yeah, the calculations are the same. I mean, whenever you look at it, Hive is nothing more than just a better developed type of Steam engine. It fixed a lot of the issues that Steam had. But a lot of the way that they still calculate Hive, they calculate the mana, they calculate the Steam dollars, they calculate, your voting power, they calculate you over 7 days. It's just like Steam. Nothing really has changed. It's just you're rewarded with Hive tokens and SME.
Nick is saying, is the Hive token earning per post / upvote? Yes, it's per post, per upvote, everything. All the same as the way that the old application was working with Steam. Nothing is changing except for the actual name of the token is going from SoMee points into SME.
And you get SME as the reward. I mean, that's the only real big change. And then we have a question from Ravi again. Ravi is, when are we going to start the influencer onboarding? Will it start after the June release or July or August? We are already doing influencer onboarding. In fact, that's why Kelly's here.
Yeah, there's already been influencer onboarding with Jamie Gold and his team, with Casey and Randy, and there's been onboarding with Brad Frank and Kelly, and I brought on influencers. There's already influencers that are on the platform. They're just getting tired.
Jamie here too. We got a lot of people in here, and we are doing the smaller campaigns first, like we talked about in our last AMA, bringing the people on, getting them used to the platform, and then doing the smaller marketing stuff. So right now, nothing major until we have a regular solid platform for them to use, like we always do. So we're still onboarding those influencers. Kelly and Brad are doing a great job with that.
We're just not heavy marketing who these people are on there, or telling them to press the button not the button, to press the foot pedal, like to get ready to unleash everything.
Ravi asks, if daily withdrawal limit is $250 a day, how will big content creators cash out? $250 a day is very small for big influencers. $250 a day is $7,000 a month. Just so you guys understand how that works. And $250 a day is $7,000 a month.
Again, the $250 a day that you guys are all worried about it's a starting point. It's a starting point for us to get our feet on the ground with this project. It's not set in stone that in the future the $250 a day is going to be there, but yeah, it's $7,000 a month, and that's
$84,000 a year in just rewards. Even for big content creators, that's a huge amount of revenue income coming in per month for them. Even if you had somebody like, the Kardashians who decided to come in, even the one Kardashian with the least amount of followers, if they came in and 1% of their followers were making revenue for them, that's $7,000 a month for them in just passive income. It doesn't sound like a lot for somebody like the Kardashians, but that's a lot of revenue for them. And understand, our $250 a day starting point is there for several reasons. One, we don't want to kill the economy. That's important. Two, we also have limitations with Skrill and Chipotle that we have to honor as well. Like with Chipotle, we can't do more than $10,000 a month. Not yet. We will be able to in the future. And then with Skrill, we can't do more than $9,000 a month because Skrill has specific hard limits on money transfers because they're international. And so international, you can't do more than $10,000 in money transfers without having certain requirements per person. So what we do is we try to make sure our limits are equal between all of our partners as well as our platform. That's why that $250 limit is there. Does that make sense?
Right, and it's $250 a day. I mean, come on.
And that's $7,000 a month. I mean, that's more than enough for anybody, really. But moving on, we have a question from John, and John goes, so what would be the price of one Hive point when cashing out right now, for example? Do you have the info on Hive available? I don't have the info on Hive with me.
One Hive point right now is worth
one Hive is worth what? 23.62 cents?
The Hive back dollar is worth 95 cents right now, and the Hive point is worth 22 cents. Yes.
Yeah, so 21.8730 cents is what I see here. So that's how much one Hive token is actually worth. So you'll get awarded Hive as you post, and then you'll get rewarded the SME tokens as well. Right. Then we have a question here from Ravi. Is there a fixed supply for SME in billions? We have not released the tokenomics for SME yet. When we do, we'll be able to answer that question better for you. That's still too far in the future for us to answer for you.
Right.
And
let me answer that. The token will tie into DeFi in the future and all of that. I mean, not to reveal too much, but I think that's you already said that, so I think I can say it.
Yeah. What did I already say?
That the SME token will tie into DeFi.
Well, yes, the SME token will tie into DeFi, and we'll have multiple levels of DeFi with the SME token. But again, we haven't fully released that information yet because we haven't even started building it yet. So it's a little too early to talk about it. Will the daily limit of $250 per day make it achievable for most early adopters? Well, wouldn't you want to earn $250 a day? I know I would. What do you think, Aaron?
Yeah, I mean, if you're making $250 a day, that's $7,000 a month. I mean, you're living pretty happy. I mean,
to me, that's more than achievable. You have some wells, you have big people with lots of voting power, vote up and down. You earn $2 or $3 per post, and you're posting like what 5 to 6 times a day on social media as it is. I mean, average person. The last time I went to Facebook, the average 18 to 25-year-old posts about 20 times per day on Facebook. So when you sit there and consider that, about 30 cents to $1 per post, we'll just throw out in the middle of the air, assuming you have some good followers and people have some exposure for you. I mean, you can easily approach that $250 mark. So, I mean, I think it's definitely achievable for most users. What do you think?
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
So Jayton asks, so we can convert SME into a Hive token. Everybody always wants all the information before we're ready. SME is a Hive-backed token, and yes, using a bridge, you can convert it to Hive on our level 2 platform. But we don't have the details available for that just yet, as we haven't released SME. Pretty much all I can say on that.
Right.
I have no idea what Ravi meant by his next question. Where can?
Where? I don't see that.
Where can? I have cans in my cupboard. I'm going to answer it like that.
I don't even see that question. Like, what?
No worries, Robbie. I know sometimes when we're posting questions, they can get a little crazy. All right, so SME is something that we're working on right now as we implement the new blockchain features. That's something we're working in tandem with Hive and the level 2 provider that we have. So the tokenomics on the SME are brand new. In fact, we just minted the SME token, last week? So we don't have all the details ready to release for you on it yet. But we will have some more details coming the end of July, because that's when the blockchain will be turned on and you guys will be able to earn SME tokens as well as Hive. We just don't have it for you yet. So please understand that. We can't always give all the information out yet.
Right.
So Roger, we publish our AMAs within 1 to 2 hours after the AMA is over. What other questions do we have, guys? We're coming up on 1 hour and 18 minutes inside of this AMA. We're a little bit over our normal time, but we did a lot of talking today. So what other questions does anybody have? Now's your time to get them out there.
Chat with the cat.
Yeah, say whatever you want to the cat. I'm always here, so you can always ask me questions. But like I said, this month of development was mainly just hard work. Lots of hard work from the developers. They had their nose to the grindstone every single day of this last month.
I mean, 90 bugs on web and 30 fixed on mobile. I mean, that's incredible. Like that's incredible development. I mean, people like when we don't get some of these features in like the private chat or the long post video because we're working on getting the infrastructure set up. I mean, there's so much that's actually being done that you guys don't see. I mean,
yeah, this month was infrastructure work, a lot of infrastructure work. We had to spin up Pinpoint for the push notifications. We had to spin up Elemental Encoder for the video on demand. We had to spin up media services to be able to host those. We had to spin up conversion shards to be able to convert those to other formats, notification queues. We did a lot of infrastructure work this month just to be able to support video on demand and live video. And I had to go in there to the open video servers and clusters that we had and reconfigure those so that they can, you know, have basically unlimited bandwidth. And you guys can, if you have a really fast connection, have a super high quality feed. It's a huge amount of infrastructure work this month. It may not seem it to you like you guys, but normally from the infrastructure side, we don't have to touch it while the developers are doing things. We might have to tweak a thing or two, but this month has been, we even have a backlog for the DevOps team, which is uncommon. So that's a lot of work. And then the team itself, they've just been working nonstop, and it's just really impressive. Plus, we hired 2 more mobile developers to work along with Diego. So we're speeding up the mobile development to get that ramped up with the web and get it aligned. And now we have 2 more developers that we're working with. So our pool is growing.
right. Yep. So, and then we're also have been working with Hive and going to be working with them all of next month, and I think into August as well, to get everything set up. So, you know, it's a lot of development work, but we're almost done all the social stuff, and then we can move on to all the fun blockchain stuff and monetization and DeFi and NFTs and, you know.
Yep.
All that
and we're actually working on NFT collections for that too. I mean, there's a lot that's going to be going on in August, September, and October of this year for blockchain. So it's just a huge amount of updates that are coming out for that. But we are still on track for the ad revenue in September. We're still on track for the blockchain at the end of July, and we're still on track for DeFi in October, if I recall correctly. So, I mean,
and
we're where we need to be.
Marketing as well. I mean, we had Marvin and we had Dominique Columbus.
Yes.
And we have other interviews that are going to be coming out on New to the Street, and other influencers that are going to be released next month. You know, we're just doing things a little slow right now because the application is not fully there where we want to market it and put it to the. Yeah, we can show the interview.
Well, I can't really show it because I don't have the video, but you can always go to devs.SoMee.social.com. That's where I moved our dev blog to. We put that in there, devs.SoMee.social.com. And right on the homepage is our latest interview with Dominique and his dad, Martin, or Marvin, I should say, with News on the Street from NASDAQ. And then you'll be able to watch that. And you know, we're constantly doing interviews with people. We have new interviews coming out all the time, and marketing hasn't stopped. It's just in the background for a lot of people, and it's the smaller influencers that are also doing these things. So one of those things. So right now, guys, we have about 7 minutes left. So I'm going to answer a few of the questions that we have still posted here, and then we're just going to go ahead and wrap up the AMA for this month. So Roger is
the
asking.
last time that you'll see the ONG there on New to the Street, because it's going to be SoMee token and the SAT token.
Yeah, I told them to change that already.
Yeah, I know. I'm talking to Reese.
So Roger asked, any sneak peek of the NFTs coming? Nope, I have no sneak peeks for you yet. We're not going to show you anything on the NFT side yet. That's coming. That's maybe when we get a few more NFTs and the NFT collection going, then we'll give you guys a sneak peek. But we'll have the ability to do auctions and sales and transfers and all that with our NFTs. So just be excited about it for now. Ravi asks, where do we stand on funding? Do we have enough for project development, or is there any shortage? There is no shortage right now on funding. We received our first round without an issue. The Republic.io side is still on track for our funding as well as our stock offering too. So no issues there on funding. We're going to blast through some of these questions because a lot are coming in and we only have 6 minutes here. Jose asks, what system will be used for payments? It will continue to be weekly, or will it be immediately after receiving the vote in favor? It's just like it was before. Hive is no different than Steam. Hive is just more robust and more stable than Steam. You're still going to be based on after a 7-day period. It's not instantaneous. But we are possibly going to work on a projection model for you guys so that you guys can figure out what your post would be worth if certain people or a certain number of people vote on your post, so that you can see how effective your post is and stuff like that. So that is something that we can potentially work on. It's something our developers asked if they could do for us. And that is something that would be really cool to have. But we're still only going to be paying you out after the 7-day, just like before. There's no difference there.
Yeah. Ravi asked, okay, you got it. Go ahead.
What are the other avenues for marketing apart from the news to the street, NASDAQ interviews? Well, we have TV commercials, we have TV interviews, we have the online AMAs with other projects, we have campaign influencers coming in, like influencers that Kelly and Brad bring in, who are starting to use the SoMee.social website, and they're starting to talk about it to their downlines. We've got, a lot on the side on marketing coming in over the next month, right, Aaron?
Yeah, I mean, there's been several different people who've reached out and said they want to help the project, and 90% of them, 90% scammers, but the 10% that actually want to help the project and everything, there's a lot of YouTubers that have caught eyes of the project, not just crypto YouTubers. I have a lot of friends in high places for marketing that I've been holding off on, or within activism circles and whistleblower circles and all types of different communities. Cypherpunks, you guys saw very early on that we brought in Captain Crunch, who's a friend of Ray's, who's my friend, and Captain Crunch connected actually, Ray connected, Captain Crunch connected Ray to have a meeting with Steve Wozniak to talk about SoMee.
Ooh, I love Woz.
So yeah, we have quite a few connections, and as far as YouTubers go, which is the next question here from Ravi, I literally know every crypto YouTuber. Like, I'm not friends with all of them, but I know them. Like, it's not an issue. I'm friends with like Crypto Love. I brought in Randall. He's excited to start pushing SoMee when everything's ready. There's people who are around Randall who he's going to be talking to them about SoMee. Basically, I'm not going to be forcing people to talk about SoMee. We're just going to show them what we're doing, and if they like it, they can get involved. I mean, they can join the influencer program and everything. I mean, and like anybody else. But I do know all of the crypto YouTubers, so that you guys are like, oh, do you know this crypto YouTuber? Yes, I know everybody. I don't like all of them, but I do know them. So
I think that's true for most people. We like people, but we don't have to. We know people, but we don't have to like them.
And
but
one last thing. I work with Heather, who is BitBoy's manager, and I'm friends with her, and she's also Crow's manager, just so you guys know. So that's how we even got connected with Crow and Ben. And I was friends with Ben for years before I even started working with him and working with his manager and everything. So we have a whole bunch of influencers that are under us and under Hit Network, which is the BitBoy Crypto marketing agency that is kind of just now starting, and Hit Network is helping grow creators in the YouTube space, helping them with their content, helping them with their titles and stuff like that. So yes, you know, we do have extensive connections to YouTubers because of Ben and Crow. And you know, we've met with Crow and talked to Crow and everything, met with Ben, and everybody's just waiting for the full project to be ready to push it. I mean, basically.
And that's the important thing to realize. I mean, everybody's saying, you know, let's do some major marketing, major pushes, you know, get on TV, get all that stuff out there. But even our advisors from Pantheon say, stop, don't do that. And there's a reason why we don't need to do that for this project. A project of this scope, of this magnitude, doesn't need to do this level of marketing yet. We just need to make sure that we're working on the fundamentals, get the social media side out, get the blockchain side out, and then start pushing marketing, you know, once we have a verifiable product out that people can use. And, you know, that's a little bit different than other networks where they want to go ahead and just hype and hype and hype and hype and hype. SoMee doesn't need the hype. Because when you start using it and you start realizing that you can say pretty much whatever you want, you can do pretty much whatever you want within reason on the platform. It's your voice, it's your content, it gives you the control that you want to do. Just using it for the first time is a different experience than using something like on Facebook. And people do feel that and they go with that. But with that said, marketing does begin to ramp up. More influencers do come in over this next month and 2-month period, just like we have on the roadmap. But, you know, just wait for us. We will get there. We will do the big marketing pushes, but we just need to make sure the system is stable enough for that first. With that said, guys, that is the hour and 30 mark for this AMA.
Well, there's one more question there I just wanted to answer real quick. First off, how did the meeting go with Wozniak? There was never a meeting. I tried to organize it with Ray and Chris. There was never a meeting yet in regards to that. There was a meeting between Ray and Wozniak talking about SoMee. So Chris wasn't there for the meeting. It was just Ray and Wozniak, and Ray talking to Wozniak about SoMee and basically telling him that it exists. As far as the #1 crypto marketing firm, Chris has already said that. He's already said that we're working with Inbound Injunction.
Yep.
Which they're not even just crypto. I mean, they're huge. They work with eToro. They work with Skrill. They work with all these big companies. So it's not just a crypto marketing firm. But they have in the past helped finance when it was a startup company and crypto.com and all of them. So yeah, so that's who we'll be working with. We'll be working with Inbound Injunction, and they're very connected into mainstream press and very connected into crypto press as well. So they'll be in the future when we're ready to press the pedal down. There'll be articles coming out in mainstream press and crypto press, and also some of their influencers that they have connected to talking about SoMee. I mean, so that's how that marketing stuff is going to work.
But anywho, that is that, and that is our AMA for this time around. A little bit more informational than usual, a little bit more talking than usual, but it was fun to answer your guys' question. I hope you learned a lot about what SoMee's coming up in the next month, and please feel free to join us on the next AMA. We are switching platforms here soon from Zoho Showtime to a different webinar platform. We're migrating away from Zoho over the next month or two, as it's just better for the company overall. If that does change before the next AMA, we'll go ahead and release that new link for everybody to register on. But in the meantime, you can still register with the same link you did before, and that will be located on our dev site. And our dev site did move, so I did put that inside of the chat. But other than that, guys, thanks for joining us today, and you guys all have a wonderful, wonderful June.